Alright, so this is fall semester review number 1, and we're talking about simplifying, solving, domain and range, and perimeter. So these are the 4 different topics we're going to cover today. And then number 2 will cover the rest of your topics on your final. Alright, so let's start here. Number 1, which of the below expressions simplifies to 3x minus 4? And then I have 2 expressions here. Go ahead and pause, write them down. This one here, if you can't see, says 2 parenthesis x plus 4 minus parenthesis x plus 5, and then B says 3 parenthesis 3x plus 2, close it, minus 2, that right there's a 3x plus 5. Okay, so which one of these simplifies to 3x minus 4? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start. If you don't remember, when we do this stuff, we have to distribute first. And if there is no number here, I'm going to put in a 1, and we're going to distribute a negative 1. Okay? So 2 times 1 is 2x. 2 times 4 is a positive 8. Negative 1 times x is negative 1x. And negative 1 times positive 5 is negative 5. Okay, that's really familiar. And then we combine our x's. So 2 minus 1 is 1x. And then 8 minus 5 is a positive 3. So that would be plus 3. So obviously that does not match this, okay? So we're going to automatically assume that B is correct. However, I don't want you to just circle B, because what happens is, let's say you made a mistake here, and then if you go do this one, and this one also doesn't match, you know you made a mistake somewhere, okay? So I'm just going to briefly show you how to do this one. So make sure, same thing, we're going to distribute the 3 and a negative 2. You could be using your calculator. I don't have my calculator right now, so I'm just using my head, but either way. 3 times 3 is 9, and the x comes down. 3 times 2 is a positive 6. Negative 2 times 3 is a negative 6x. And negative 2 times 5 is a negative 10. We combine our x's. 9 minus 6 is 3x. And then 6, positive 6 minus 10 is negative 4. You could use your calculator. I don't have mine, but yeah, you could do that. And then that one matches. So the correct answer is B. Alright, so there are a couple problems on your final about distribution combined like terms. It might ask you which one simplifies to this, or it might just give you something like this and have you simplify. But either way, that's on your test. Okay, let's go to problem 2. Which of the below equations is x equals 3? Okay, pause and write it down. A is 3x plus 4 equals 5x minus 2. B is 3 parenthesis x plus 4 equals 15. So this is basically just solving, right? So we've been doing this since, third week of school. I'm going to solve for x. So I need to either get this guy over here or this guy over here. It doesn't matter. Do I want to move the 3 over or the 5 over? I'm going to go ahead and move the 5 over, but you could move the 3. It doesn't matter. The opposite of positive 5x is negative 5x. And 3 minus 5 is a negative 2. And then we bring down our plus 4 equals, this goes away, and that's negative 2. Okay? Your x, negative 2 is your best friend, we get rid of this guy. The opposite of positive 4 is negative 4. Negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6. Okay? And then we divide everything by negative 2. Negative 6 divided by negative 2 is a positive 3. So good. That one's correct. I already automatically know this one's right, but I do want to show you this one just so you know how to do this kind of solving, because you will see it on your final. So if you see solving like this, you need to distribute. Okay, I'm going to draw my line too. 3 times x is just 3x. And 3 times 4 is a positive 12 equals 15. Your x, 3 is your best friend, get rid of this guy. So the opposite of positive 12 is negative 12. 15 minus 12 is 3. And then we divide everything by 3. So x equals 3 divided by 3 is 1. Okay, so not the right answer, but you still need to know how to do this. On your final, it might say, it might just give you something like this and ask you to solve. or it might say which one of these below answer choices is x equals -1 or whatever, and you have to solve them and figure out which one matches. Okay, so those are your options for there. All right, we're gonna look at two different domain and range type problems. So let's do the first one first. Go ahead and pause right down. Given y equals 6x plus 3, what is the range when the domain is 5? Okay, what is the range? Remember, I'm gonna underline range is y when the domain, so when the x is 5. Okay, so I need to know what y is when x is 5. That means I replace the x with a 5. So that 5 basically goes right there. So I'm going to put y equals 6 parenthesis 5 plus 3. Alright, and then all I have to do is do this. You could put this whole thing in the calculator, or 6 times 5 is 30, and 30 plus 3 is 33. And that's the correct answer. Now, you could do this another way. You could go to y equals in your calculator, put that equation in, and go to the table, and look when x is 5, what is y? That's another way to do it as well. Okay? And then, so you're going to see this on your final, but you're also going to see the reverse. So write that down real quick. Given y equals -2x plus 4, what is the domain when the range is 15? Okay? So now, what is the, underline that and put x. What is the x when the y is 15? So now I'm going to replace y with 15. 15 equals -2x plus 4. And then we solve. So your x, -2 is your best friend. We get rid of the 4. The opposite of adding 4 is subtracting 4. 15 minus 4 is 11, equals -2x. We divide by -2. Now, I don't have my calculator with me right now, but if I did 11 divided by -2 in the calculator, it would come up with -5.5. And then you could math enter that, and if you did, you'd get -11 over 2. Both would be correct. On your final, on some of them, I might give you decimals or I might give you fractions. You need to know how to do both. Okay? So, that's domain and range. Domain, and just be very, very careful on what I'm asking you to do. One of them, you replace the x. The other one, you replace the y, and then you solve. Okay? Last problem is a perimeter type problem. Number 4. What is the perimeter of a rectangle with a length of 4a plus 2 and a width of 3a minus 1? Alright, so first thing we're going to do is draw a rectangle. And we're going to put 4a plus 2 and 3a minus 1. Then if you remember, if that's 4a plus 2, then this right here is 4a plus 2. And then this would be 3a minus 1. Okay? We combine our a's. So you do 4, 4, 3, and 3. You can add them all up in the calculator. I don't have my calculator, so I'm just going to do, 4 and 3 is 7, and then another 7 would be 14. So I have 14 a's. Okay? And then I combine my other guys. Positive 2, minus 1, minus 1. 2 plus 2 is 4, minus 1 is 3, minus 1 is 2. But it's a positive 2, so plus 2. And that would be my answer right there. Okay? Common mistakes with this is some kids just add up these two. Like they'll only add up this and get an answer, and they're not going to do all 4 sides. And then also, a lot of y'all mix up when it's a minus sign here. So just be very careful. Okay, those are 4 different concepts that are going to be on your final for part 1. Go ahead and complete that assignment, and then make sure you also watch part 2.